Hello, beautiful humanoids. It is I, Kristina, here at Fit and Bendy Studios in Los Angeles, and I'm so excited because today we start working on splits. So if you're here, you've probably been working on our Splits Prep 1 and or Splits Prep 2 videos to gradually increase your flexibility and get ready to start working on splits. And maybe you took our test on Am I Ready to Do the Splits? All of those videos are linked below. So remember, you can always go back to Splits Prep 1 and Splits Prep 2 as great warm-ups for this video. And it is more important that you find your strength, your form, your alignment, than that you get deep really fast. So all you need for our workout today are a pair of socks, or if you're on carpet, a piece of cardboard so you can slide easily, a couple of yoga blocks like these. If you don't have these, no big deal. Grab a couple soup cans, grab a stack of books, and some kind of sturdy chair or low table. All right, let's get started. Grab your chair. We're gonna start our lunge series standing, picking up off of where we left off in Splits Prep 2. Now, have your chair or piece of furniture next to you to help with balance, but we're gonna try not to use it. We're going to take a step back with this left foot. Now, how far back you step is going to dictate how difficult this is. We can try playing with the distance between our feet to play with the difficulty of this exercise. So similar to our last exercise in Splits Prep 2, we want to think about tucking with the pelvis, engaging through the back of both legs, and using this downstairs butt to straighten that leg as much as possible. For me, because my hip flexors are by far the tightest part of my body, this is about what I got right now. I'm going to dig that front heel into the floor and pull myself forward. So for this sequence, I am working on keeping my spine straight and my back leg straight, and the working leg is the front leg. And the further I pull with that front leg, the deeper the stretch goes in the front of this left hip. Now, if I've done a couple of those and I'm thinking, hey, this could be harder, easy. All I have to do is scrunchie that front foot forward. Scrunchie is a technical term, and this becomes more difficult and I can start to go a little bit deeper. I don't want to end up at a point where this front knee is going past that front foot, because that's going to be hard on my knee. All right, so hopefully you're feeling that opening through this hip, and you're feeling a lot of strengthening work through your legs and your core muscles. This strengthening work is providing the foundation that we want for our splits training. Let's do one more. And we're going to stop in this forward lunge. Arms reach out in front of us. Tuck, tuck, tuck that pelvis under. Pull the abs in and try to straighten that back leg out just a little bit more. Now you can hang out here for a while. This is an excellent splits prep position. Really important to keep dropping that tailbone down towards the floor. Spine is lifted up nice and tall. Abs are nice and strong. Little squeeze with the inner thigh is going to help you keep that hip square. Now, let's slowly lower that back knee down to the floor. Again, use your furniture anytime you need it. Uncurl the toes of your back foot. Feel that back hip nice and open. We're going to do a quick hello to our hamstrings. If this doesn't feel like enough of a warm-up for you, please go back to Splits Prep 1 and 2 as excellent warm-ups for actually trying the splits. So I am just bending and straightening this front knee a few times, saying hello, right hamstring. Are you tight? Where are you tight? How are you feeling? Do you want to ease into this a little bit? We can do some of those rotations, some of that spinal movement. To actually start working on the split, we are going to fold our mat up to make a little bit more of a cushion for the back knee, which is going to feel better. Then I am going to put on one of my cute little tie-dyed socks on my front foot. Again, if you're on carpet, then you will probably want to have a piece of cardboard instead of a sock, because you want to be able to slide pretty easily. Then, my yoga blocks are here, and that's because when I'm starting to train splits, my upper body is going to take a lot of my body weight, and that's going to make this a lot easier to work on. So I'm checking in with my position. It should look just like my hamstring stretch. Front leg is straight out in front, back leg is going straight back behind me. From here, the first muscle I want to think about is the downstairs butt of my back leg. So right underneath that left butt. That is the muscle that pushes me forward as I start to slide down towards the floor. I can totally get deeper if I give up on that and let that hip open up to the side, right? So much easier. Now what we're going for, remember, form over depth. So I'm pushing forward just until I feel that my muscles are like, oh, it's about as far as I can go. And then I'm pulling back in. And we're using this sliding back and forward feeling to start to open up the hips nice and gently. So we want to be able to come up to the point where the body starts to says, oh, that's about enough. We say hello to it, we take a quick breath, and then we come back out. And that's how we ease our bodies into the whole idea of doing a split. And it's very important to do this carefully enough so that our body doesn't freak out and start to hurt. We don't want to pull a muscle or injure anything in this endeavor. All right, so on this next one, hopefully our body's feeling warmed up enough that we can actually hang out in this split for a while. Go ahead and stay leaning forward for now. That's going to emphasize the stretch in the hamstring, which is usually what you're going to feel the most in the beginning. Now, think about arching your back. Notice how that's going to make you go deeper into the hamstring. And then tuck and round your back, and notice how that's going to go deeper into your hip. And we can go back and forth between those two positions, and that is going to help you have good control over your spine and help you feel how much spinal position affects what's going on in your lower body, and it helps you control where you're feeling the stretch in your splits to really target what you need the most. All right, one more. Arch and round. Lean forward over that leg. Press both legs down into the floor and pull that front leg back in. And as always, I like to give it a little pat. Thank you, body. You're doing great. Let's do the other side. So, moving my blocks to the side, I'm going to unfold my mat and take off my sock, because I don't really want to be sliding around when I'm doing my lunges. That makes life a lot harder. All right, this time I'm taking a step back with my right foot. So my body is vertical. I can feel my abdominal muscles nice and strong. You can really see what this front leg is doing. You want to make sure that you're not sinking into this front hip. There shouldn't be like a big, heavy feeling of weight in the front hip. I'm trying to lift out of that front hip to make sure that most of the work is happening in the back of the leg. At the same time, the back of the back leg is working to open up the front of my right hip. We can bring those arms out in front of us, extend them out long like Superman flying, and we're going to straighten the front leg and then bend it, pulling ourselves forward. So we're coming in and out of that deep stretch in the front of the right hip. And every time, trying to challenge ourselves, come a little bit deeper, pull a little bit further, and just feel where you need that stretch in the hip. Now again, if you're dying, move your feet a little closer together. If you want a little more challenge, scrunch, 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 scrunch with the front foot, and it becomes more difficult. And the further apart the feet go, the closer this becomes to a split position. And you're really building that strength and control. Feel how much the inner thighs pulling in can really help you maintain your balance here, but your furniture is always here if you need it, in case you feel teetery. Let's stop in that forward bend here. Reach the arms forward, belly button back, squeeze that right butt to straighten that back leg just a little bit more. Such a yummy stretch, so much work. And let's bend that back knee down, uncurl the back feet, and just a little hello. Oh, yeah, I felt that. Very nice. That hip's more open, thank you. All right, quick hello to the left hamstrings. So again, we're trying to find square with this hip, and we're just saying hello to this left hamstring. Now remember that one side might be tighter than the other. I'm saying that because this is my tight hamstrings, and every time I go into it, it protests just a little bit. And you might have the same thing on one side, where one side just feels tight. Maybe there's an old injury. Maybe it's just mystery tightness. And when that happens, you just want to spend a little extra time on that side, making sure that it feels warm and juicy and ready for whatever you're about to throw at it. So go ahead and do your favorite combination of movements to get that hamstring ready to go. Splits on the left side. Let's do it. All right. Fold over your mat or grab a cushion, pillow, whatever you got, dog bed. You can tell I have dog because I always reference dog toys. All right, both blocks come out in front of you. And the more adorable your socks are, the easier this exercise gets. So, invest in adorable socks. All right, here we go. Extend that leg out in front of you. Where do we start? We start with the right downstairs butt. It's pushing my right hip forward. It's squaring my hips. It's now pushing my right hip forward down towards the floor. I get as far as I can. Maybe the limiting factor is that my hip feels tight. Maybe it's that my hamstring really wants to pull my hip out of line and go like that, stick my butt out to the side. Wherever it is, I get to that limiting point, and then I come back. I'm flirting with it. I'm flirting with my body's limitations. It's very cute. A little bit forward and back here. Keeping my weight forward, using my arm strength, using my upper body to support my body weight so that it doesn't feel too overwhelming for my lower body as I go deeper. And you'll probably notice that after a few repetitions, you're able to get a little bit closer to the floor. Not a lot, a little. There is no quick progress in this. Progress is always made in millimeters, and that's how we want it, because that's how it's safe. All right, let's stop in that split. Just go to where you feel the stretch. It shouldn't be miserable, but you feel it. And we are going to just hang out here and breathe and then find our spinal extension. So I'm sticking out my butt, and that tight left hamstring of mine is like, oh, is this what we're doing now? And then I'm going to round under, and now I can feel that right hip pressing down towards the floor. And extend and round. And feel that relationship with your spine. The spine and the hips, well, they're connected, right? And so what the spine does affects what the hips do. And the more control you can get, the happier you're going to be, especially if you want to take this into a more advanced place and start to do fancy stuff. All right, let's do one more. And we're going to stop in that arch position, and we're just going to breathe here. Stick out your butt, chest comes forward. Maybe that right hip gets a little closer to the floor, and then tuck the pelvis under. Pull that left leg back in. Oh, so nice. Pat, 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 pat. Pat, 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 pat. Body, you are amazing. I love you. And I love your body too. And the more that you do this, the easier it will get. If you want to just rewind and do those split slides again, a few repetitions, 2 to 3 repetitions, is definitely going to get you the best results. I recommend doing this 2 to 3 times a week at least to be consistent. Please keep going back to splits prep 1 and 2 as a great foundational work to warm up and keep your body strong for this work. Thank you so much, everybody. Please be nice to yourselves, say lots of nice things, and as always, happy bendings.